Hi, this is Kai. It's February 18th, and I wanted to give you a brief update on the Alaska version 3 meeting this morning. We had a discussion that really built on an article that I'll have linked with this on the role of youth and youth leadership in Alaska, and used that discussion as a jumping off point for some ideas on what could we be doing to try and strengthen the involvement of youth and youth leadership in creating our discussions around the next Alaska and the programs that we're building. And then we moved on to what should we do next that focused in on understanding some work we want to do on the container or the convening guidelines around some of our activities, but also exploring in more detail how we align our efforts with other groups that are already doing so much to bring youth into discussions about the communities they live in and the communities they want to build. And we were left with, a question to investigate, which is, should Alaska version 3 and the approach we build for engaging communities in discussion, should that heavily be built with a lot of youth involvement directly in the organization and what we're building? Or should we have some boundary spanning relationships with the groups that are already doing that work and do more to engage and support those groups and their activities and strengthen that? So it's not a black or white question in the sense of one or the other, but perhaps an understanding of some degrees of youth involvement in our AKv3 leadership group and some of the design of our work, some of our programming, how much of that is youth informed and youth connected versus how much of that is really designed around youth, deep youth engagement and or connecting to other groups that are doing that youth engagement with more expertise and experience in that. Beyond that, we also spent some time working on the development of our outreach materials that Beth is guiding to help us clarify our messaging and our approach with the organization we're trying to have ready for the Innovation Summit in March. And we work with Ariel on her work to design some of these community engagement dialogues and providing some feedback on how to structure that, how to think about some of the terminology and the words that are being used. But it also led us at the end to discuss a little bit about the model used by SCF Canada, and I'll put the link to that also in the posting. SCF Canada, I think, has a really powerful model for us to consider in how we think about the community engagement, because it is a process that goes into a community and begins with some facilitation of somebody that's coming in to convene people in the local community to talk about their opportunities, their needs, their priorities, their concerns. And parallel with that is organizing a group of local subject matter experts. This process begins by recognizing that communities already have a tremendous wealth of opportunity and resource and capability and skills. And being able to improve the ability to match that up to opportunities, such as somebody saying, we really need somebody to provide this particular product or service, and then realizing that there are the resources in the community that maybe understand some of the accounting and the marketing and graphic design kind of activities that need to be done. And this process that SCF Canada uses is one that metaphorically brings somebody in to start this dialogue process and this linking of existing community assets. But that convener, that person, that organization that's doing this work is thinking from the very beginning how they move from the front of the room as this convener and organizer to, over time, moving to the back of the room so that they're now supporting and applauding and celebrating the success as the community begins to essentially take over that role, and over time, without any assistance, continue that convening process of looking for opportunities and supporting the development of those, as well as nurturing the support and the networking of the assets that they have. So good discussion today, and look forward to more of it next week, and welcome any of you that would be interested in joining in that continued work that we're doing. Thank you.